Hi and welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about my weight loss story. As you all know, this channel is mainly, or I started this channel mainly for documenting weight loss and talking about that topic, and I feel like I haven't filled you in on the history of my weight loss yet, so this is what this video is about. I've always been a big kid and I've always struggled with my weight. But to me it was never really a problem before I got into kindergarten. So in kindergarten it started that I got severely bullied, not only by kids by the way, but also by adults. Not necessarily in the kindergarten, but also like outside adults, like parents of friends or kids that you know. And that really ruined my self-confidence and like my view of myself, that I was actually okay the way I was, and that triggered me to eat more, and then the sick cycle basically began. So I experienced rejection from the outside and like the world, society, and then I started eating. When I began going to school it got only worse. So the kids were very mean, and I got bullied like throughout my whole school career, you could say. So yeah, that wasn't easy, and it also just gotten worse and worse until I was like 14, 15 maybe, because then the guys and girls partially that were bullying me, they were either kicked off the school or like didn't pass all the exams, so they were like downgraded or like left my class level. I wasn't like forced to see them on a daily, and so they didn't have the opportunity to bully me anymore. That was a huge relief actually. And then it got a little bit better, because then I like gained a little bit more confidence and had friends. One example of being bullied at school that actually came from a teacher that I actually didn't know about until like 2 or 3 years ago, when my sister finally told me. The situation was that my sister and me, we were on the same school, and she's also like a little bit bigger. She's never been as big as me, but she's also been big. Since we were on the same school, we had the same French teacher, and my sister managed to lose a lot of weight when she was around, I think like 15, 16, due to social pressure. She wanted to like belong into the friends group that she found, and so she basically hungered and starved her way down to, I don't know, 50 kilograms or something. So she really starved herself to like fit in and lose weight, and she lost that weight in a quite fairly like quickly, in a short amount of time. And I think it was like 20 or 30 kilograms, so it was really noticeable that she had lost weight, and she had normal weight then. But how she attained it is a different story. That French teacher approached her one day and was praising her for her weight loss, told her, "Tell your sister to do the same. Whatever you did, it worked. So tell your sister to do the same." And she never told me, and I'm so thankful for that she didn't tell me when she could back then, because that would have like just added to my pile of everyone hates me and I'm not good enough, and like I'm basically dirt. So that was my view of myself back then. And if she had told me that even a teacher that I also have in my French class said something like that to her, that would have like just that would have just like added up to the pile of not good stuff that was going on at that time. I'm so glad that I evolved in that way, that I can like look back at that and look at the teacher and be like, wrong choice of profession, or like just badly done. She should have known. So yeah, I'm not angry or something. I just want to mention it because I think that people always think like when you're talking about bullying and being bullied as a fat person in school, most people think immediately about the other kids, but it's also adults that do that. And I think it's even more shocking if a teacher is like participating. A little bit irresponsible of a teacher, to be honest. As you can make out from the stuff that I just told you, I've always been like a very sensible kid, and what people thought about me and how they treated me really affected my eating. Feedback from society plus my own beliefs about myself that were kind of fed from home. I didn't have an easy upbringing at home. I don't want to talk about it in detail, but I know that this is also contributing to how I see myself. Or how I used to see myself at that point. I know I've worked a lot on it, but it's still not all good. But I'm way better than I've been back then. But all of this basically catapulted me into depression, and that led me to eating. It's not like my mom didn't notice or care, but we didn't have much choice food-wise since we were like on a very tight budget. So we didn't have that much money. So it was often that we would eat like pasta noodles with ketchup or something. That was like a standard food. I also ate vegetables. It's not like I only ate that, and which is kind of weird because we never really ate like fast food. So other kids were like having these white bread with Nutella on top, like this chocolate spread, with them to school, and I never had that. I never ate that. I was never allowed to have it. And we also went to McDonald's like only on birthdays, if at all. And it's so baffling to me that I could still like manage to gain that weight without having access to that stuff. If you look at parents that like take their children with them to a fast food restaurant every other week even, or like every day, and you can like pinpoint at this is why the kid is maybe fat kind of because it eats that food. But for me it was like, even though we had these days where I would eat like noodles with ketchup, we still had days where I would eat like, I don't know, brown rice with squash and paprika. So yeah, and we didn't eat that much meat because it was expensive. So it's kind of weird to me thinking back about my diet. But then again, I also started hoarding food. I started, when I had gotten pocket money, for example, I would go and buy chips and sweets, and then I would hide them actually in my room. That's probably how I gathered the calories. So again, it's not like my mom didn't care. She actually also tried to get us into like physical activity and sports. So I actually went to a, what do you call it? It's like an activity group for kids that are fat. I don't remember what it was called, but it was like gymnastics for fat kids, basically. So I was there like 3 or 4 times before I didn't go there anymore. I don't even remember why. I think that it was partially because I just didn't want to go there anymore, obviously because I'm a kid and I don't want to like, although it was fun as I remember, I don't know. And partially I think because it was difficult for my mom to handle full-time work and driving me there, and yeah. If I remember correctly, I have no idea. I don't want to accuse her of not caring or whatever, but if I remember correctly, that was like the point. But we were active. So my sister and me both also played like volleyball for a couple of years. She played longer than me. And then I just stopped doing any physical activity really. So when I was like 12 years old, I was like out of all sport activities besides school. So in Germany, it's kind of like you're responsible for your own sports clubs, things and such. It's not connected to the school in any way. Or sometimes it is, but for me it wasn't. So you have a gym class, like, is it called PE? I don't know, physical activity, like, I don't know what it's called in America, but in Germany it's called like Sport, where you do stuff, like you play football, you play basketball, random stuff. You just do stuff with your class. And then that's that. So that might be maybe like 3 hours a week. And that was all the exercise that I had. When I was 17 years old, I was at 85 kilograms, and I managed then to like starve myself down to, I think it was 70 kilograms. So that was my first major weight loss that I actually achieved on my own. But I managed to do that by starving myself for a whole week. So I didn't eat for a whole week. That's when I lost like, I think 10 kilograms in a week. It's kind of, I mean, you would kind of notice that something is wrong with my body if I can like lose weight that fast. But then I didn't know about my thyroid. I didn't know about like insulin resistance. I didn't know anything. So I just starved myself. I didn't eat anything for a week. I only drank water, and that's how I lost 10 kilos. And then the last 5 kilos, I don't know how I lost them, like the days after maybe. But then I was like at 70 kilos and I was like, cool. Now we'll just stay that way. We're just like starve ourselves, and this is our life now. And obviously that didn't work. 2 years later, when I turned 19, that was the first time where I actually went over 100 kilograms. So from 70 to 100 in like 2 years. So since that time, I haven't been below 100 kilograms. That's quite, it actually makes me really, really sad to think about that, because ever since then, I've been living above 100 kilograms. So I've been heavier than that. And that's, yeah, not good for my joints, not good for my bones, not good for my body in general. But yeah, I think it was 2009 when I finally moved out from home, and that kind of helped me in some ways, but it also didn't help me mentally, because I finally realized that I really had depression. That was the first time when I went to see a therapist. That was the first time, 2010 I think it was, when I went into a gym and tried to like establish a routine and like move more, but I couldn't maintain it. It was nothing that I like could integrate into my life, and so it was very consistent. I only went like maybe 4 or 5 times in that year, 2010. And yeah, but it was the first time that I went into a gym, and I think that's kind of like it was a good move. It just yeah, could have made it a little bit more consistent maybe. In 2012, a lot of things happened in my private life. My father died pretty unexpectedly and under pretty bad circumstances. Again, I'm not going to go into detail about that. And I felt the weight of the depression that I was carrying around with me basically all my life, when it started in childhood, and I've been carrying it with me like a backpack pretty much. So that's how it felt at that point, and it just, everything came crashing down really. It felt like, yeah, a brick wall falling on top of me really. It was a pretty shit year. I went into therapy again, but this time not like integrated into my daily life. I cut uni, I stopped going to university, I dropped out, and I went into like a facility where I could get like therapy full time, and that was good. 2012 was also the year that is pretty much marking my highest weight ever. It was 136 kilograms, and yeah, my dad dying and everything just falling apart was really a catalyzer. Is it a catalyzer? I don't know. For me to like get things in order. So I really try to get a grip on my mental health. I try to get a grip on my weight. I try to get a grip on job, because until that point I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I was studying law first. I started studying like law. And then I studied Scandinavian languages and German as a language, but I didn't want to become a teacher. I just was interested in languages. Prior to that, what I've been actually doing all my life is like painting and being creative. And also I taught myself how to code websites when I was like 11, 12 years old, but I never wanted to pursue anything in that direction. So I was really, really confused. I was like, what am I even doing? What should I do as a profession? Why is my life so fucked up? And yeah, it was a year of confusion, but also like of trying to put things back together really and make it work for myself. From 2013 to I think like 2016, I had quite a good grip on my weight. I lost, so I came down from 136 to basically 100 kilograms, not below, but 100 kilograms, I think 0.4 or something was my lowest at that point, but I had a grip on it. I enrolled in another university. I was studying visual communication, or like graphic design marketing, and I was going to the gym on a regular basis. I had my side job, so I was doing university and working at the same time, and going to the gym and trying to maintain like to be like physical active and to like actually do something for my weight loss. And that was a big struggle, but I managed to maintain 100 kilograms. I didn't go below, but I also didn't go up, and that was the first time where I felt really in control of my weight, and that seeing that what I actually do and when I put in the work, that there is result, and I can do this if I want to, and if I build my life in a way that makes it easy for me to be consistent. At that time I tried a lot of different eating methods, or like, how to say that, I don't know, eating things. So I went vegan, or almost vegan, because I could never cut out the cheese or the yogurt. I tried keto, which helped me a lot until I realized that I'm allergic to avocado. So I felt really bad when I was eating avocado. So I was like, this is weird, but I just keep eating them because they're healthy. And then I was like, okay, I cannot do this anymore. I get like really, really upset stomach from that. To find a keto diet that is not based around the whole or built around the whole avocado, that's kind of hard. But no, there are some, but obviously avocado is the plant fat that is helping you with weight loss. So yeah, but I tried out a bunch of things and saw what is helping me and what is not working for me, and it was really good. And I also had a grip on my binge eating, because what I did was, and I just recently learned that or heard that again in a podcast, because I always thought like, was this actually a good approach? Because it seemed to work, but I did that intuitively, so I didn't hear it anywhere. But now I heard it in a podcast, I think the past week. I wasn't only struggling with binge eating, I would also reward myself with food. I didn't only eat when I was unhappy or depressed, I would also eat when I'm happy. And that was a huge thing that was like confused me, because I always learned like, yeah, you eat when you're sad. That's emotional eating, that's binge eating, and that is that. But you don't have binge eating. That's what a therapist told me, because you don't binge, you overeat. And then you also eat when you're happy, and that's a clear sign that you're not binge eating, which is not true, by the way. So binge eating it's not bound to an emotion. You can also binge eat when you're happy. And I would reward myself with food. So I would be like, yeah, you did good today. You went to the gym, so let's go into that shop and buy a chocolate bar. And that is so counterproductive. You should never do that. And I did that quite a long time. So I don't remember if I didn't notice that was not in scope of reaching my goal, or if I just denied reality pretty much. But I would do that, and then I would like gain weight and be like, okay, but I need that chocolate bar. And what I tricked myself into doing is whenever I wanted that chocolate bar, I was like, yeah, but we wait until tomorrow. We just wait until tomorrow, and if you want it tomorrow, you can get it. And then when tomorrow came and that urge of binging or like eating that specific food would come again, then, or arise again, then I would be like, yeah, but we wait another day, and if it's still there tomorrow, then you can get it. And if it was there on the third day, then I would buy one small chocolate bar. By that and doing that intuitively without knowing if this is actually good or not, I saved myself from eating 3 chocolate bars. Because the mean thing about binge eating and like rewarding yourself with food, you find a reason to like reward yourself every day. So I would have not stopped eating 1 chocolate bar that day and then not eat the chocolate bar the other days. I would have found a reason on that day, on that day, on that day, on that day. So what I did is I delayed the gratification and harmed myself basically on one day, but the other days I stayed okay and like regulated food-wise, if you get what I mean. And that is actually something that I heard in a binge eating podcast the other day, that this is something that works, and that this is actually what binge eating therapists also do with their clients. And I was like, wow, I did this intuitively, it worked, great, I should just do it again. And yeah, this is something that I'm trying to incorporate into my life right now as well. Not getting everything on a whim, but like waiting. What helped me back then was that I didn't have a car, so I couldn't just drive anywhere and get it, and get like the chocolate bar. I really had to like get out, take the subway, or like walk a longer walk to the store. Now I have a car, so I can just drive to the store, get out, get in, and then get back with a car. So this is kind of sucks. Hey guys, I'm going to cut the video right here. It's been already, I think, like 16 minutes or so, and there's like a few more stories to come. So I'm going to make a 2 video series out of my weight loss story. So you're going to see or hear the rest of the story in the next video, which is part 2. Thank you so much for watching until here. It took me several attempts to film this because, as you might figure, it's quite a personal story, and I wasn't quite sure if I really wanted to tell it on like YouTube and uploaded it really, and also the pictures that I selected, if I really want to expose myself like this. But I think it's just fair for people that want to follow me to like get to know me a little bit better and like see the whole picture. And also I think that maybe a few of you can relate to, I don't know, mental struggles at home, or like in the upbringing, or like childhood PTSD, stuff like that. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in part 2 in the next video. Bye.